Relief efforts continue to reach remote areas via helicopter cut off by the storm. Utility companies continue to make concerted efforts to restore services disrupted by Erika and help from CARICOM as post-disaster recovery efforts continue in Dominica. I am Lourianne Graham Carter with the Channel 5 News. Details coming up.
Here's a cool way to make some quick cash with the Dominica National Lottery. Simply go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Dominica National Lottery, and like our page. Fill out a simple form and that's it. Every week, one lucky fan will win $250. Yep, 250 big ones just for liking our page. How cool is that? So what are you waiting for? Hurry to facebook.com/Dominica National Lottery and start winning. Draw takes place every Friday.
This is freedom, this is life, happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that
when you can afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
I'm so alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey.
KFC, so good for everyone.
At Quartz, it's the biggest mattress clearance event of the year. We're making room for all new models. So, for a limited time, purchase any mattress, base, or divan and get a second one, half price. Everything must go. So, head down to Quartz now and take advantage of the biggest mattress clearance event of the year with nothing down and nothing to pay for 90 days. Only at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
If you love that sound, then pour yourself a Glen Hunter Scotch whiskey and enjoy the taste on the rocks or mix with your favorite beverage. And because Glen Hunter is priced right, you'll be able to double your pleasure long after the people who don't drink Glen Hunter have to go home with empty pockets and empty-handed. Glen Hunter, a revolution in Scotch whiskey. Astor fans, right place, right price. Right price.
The right room temperature is essential for a good night's sleep, and your broken AC unit is making matters worse. You toss and turn all night, and fanning is not the answer. It's time to end your nightmare. Come to Tong Refrigeration Center at Foncollet, where we meet all your air condition needs. Tong Refrigeration Center also provides a range of parts, including circuit boards, compressors, capacitors, coil, gas, and more. Visit Tong Refrigeration Center at Foncollet today. Now you can sleep in comfort.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
News, a Channel 5 news team visited Delices through the only means possible to get an update from that community.
So we just landed at the Fortama playing field and we're driving up the Fortama road to head into the village of Delis, where the people are completely cut off from both sides, Pitit Savan and Boitica. I'm standing at what used to be the Victoria Road leading to Boitica. If you look below the road, you would think that it was a bridge, but really and truly the water and the debris coming down the river during the storm washed away the entire foundation of the road that was once known as Victoria Road.
Motorists driving through the community must now use a bypass previously created by farmers to access the village. A member of the community told Channel 5 News that the 15-year-old bypass is now the only motorable means into the community. This is just one of the natural springs that was modified to make it easier for the people to get drinking water. Through the bypass, it's approximately 10 minutes to get to a central location in the community where the gas station is located.
Where the slide happened in Upper Carib is around my area, and it was really tough. My husband had to come up from our home and come down by the gas station and tell us to get out of the house because it's very dangerous up there. So we had to stay there by the gas station, and then people gather. We had about 4 little boys that just crossed the slide when it came down. They were trembling, so we had to take them and bring them in our house lower down. And then we stayed there. We had to go and dig where the slide came down on the guy, Hillary. So we did the dog until they got him about 6 o'clock. They started about 10 o'clock and they get him about 6. So they take him from there and bring him at the police station, and next day they buried him. But it's really tough.
Friday was the first day since the storm that residents received supplies brought in by air. She says everyone did not receive supplies on Friday, but more is expected.
So far we've been working hand in hand with the government, with our parliamentary representative. He has been communicating to us, when the supplies are coming in. And what we have done is that we have been collecting some supplies because estimated in the community we have about 250 households. And we wanted to ensure that every household got supplies. So today what we did, we prepackaged last night and we handed over to the families, the various families in the community. And I'm also began tremendous support. We've been liaising with our people in the diaspora, and they are organizing so many things. So I think the community will be in good hands. We have things coming in gradually on the helicopters daily. So we collect those things and then we distribute to the community.
She says they have put in place a disaster relief committee and they are working with the police to ensure smooth operations. We hitched a ride to Dominica, which only took us so far. A landslide forced us to continue on foot. There we encountered another road undermined by the raging waters of the storm.
So we are standing at just one of the points that divides Dalis from Dominica. As you can see behind me, a major landslide occurred. This area was once just a small ravine, but as you can see, it has done some major work.
Tried walking as far as we could to go to Dominica, but we were impeded by that major landslide. So right now we are heading back to Dalis so we can catch the helicopter back to the airport.
More top stories. Dominica continues to receive support from the Caribbean community CARICOM in the wake of Tropical Storm Erika. A shipment of Bailey bridges is expected in Dominica to help rebuild the road network. A Bailey bridge is a temporary bridge of lattice steel designed from prefabricated standard parts for rapid assembly. Tropical Storm Erika brought heavy rains which flooded rivers, triggering landslides and severely damaging the road network. Skerritt says the shipment of Bailey bridges from St. Vincent will be used primarily on the west coast.
Today, the boat arrived today, Blackmore, or arrived tomorrow from St. Vincent with 100 meters of what you call Bailey bridges to be erected. And we also have a company that is prepared to have them mounted up for us at no cost to the state. Our priority is to ensure that we can connect the west coast. And I await the advice from the Permanent Secretary on which areas specifically those bridges would be erected.
Meantime, Secretary General of CARICOM, Erwin LaRocque, says Guyana will also make a donation to Dominica.
The government of Guyana, before I left, has asked me to inform EPM that they'll be doing a consignment of rice to Dominica next week. And we'll be waiting when I get back to see what very specific needs you have. They're also willing to offer military personnel if that is needed.
Grenada's health minister has donated trauma medical supplies to Dominica's health ministry.
Tropical Storm Erika severely damaged the country's infrastructure, hampering access to and provision of many services. During a courtesy call to Dominica, Grenada's Minister for Health and Social Security, Nicholas Steele, donated the trauma supplies to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and the Environment, Helen Roye. Grenada's health minister said, and I quote, "Grenada sympathizes with Dominica as we suffered a similar fate in 2004. We will continue to support Dominica in its recovery efforts," end quote. Currently, a Grenadian pathologist is on island to help with the increased number of postmortems following deaths associated with Erika.
Pipe-borne water continues to be restored around the country.
A primary concern following Tropical Storm Erika was the provision of potable water to communities around the island. 1 week after the devastating storm, approximately 70% of the population is back on the water system of the Dominica Water and Sewage Company, DOWASCO.
We are happy to report to date that the intake at Springfield has been cleaned totally. We had to use, in some cases, 24 men getting into the river since heavy equipment could not operate there. And water has been restored in Water Area 1. Among the systems that we have been able to restore is the Bellevue-Chopin system, restored to 100%. Cassie Bruce, 95% as at this time. Clifton, Capuchin, Cottage, these areas have been restored, approximately 95% restored. Cochrane has been restored 100%. All of the Kalinago territory is now receiving 100% water coverage. Watton-Waven has been restored using the old Watton-Waven intake, but the Watton-Waven system.
Soufriere and Scotshead have 100% coverage. The La Plaine system has been restored. Layou has been fully restored. The Paywish system was also restored.
The WASCO, however, had to go in there and ensure the integrity of the system and extend the system to serve the people of Mopac and as far as Thibault. Penville reinstated 100% with the assistance of the community. Portsmouth and surroundings 100% reinstated using the old water intake. Lubia Wallhouse system, Point Michel, was the very first to be reinstated, and that is still doing very well, and we are extending this to serve the people of Leopoldville.
Water has been pumped up to Campbell and Warner. Good Hope, Morpo, Tranto, Grand Fort, and Mont Jean are now receiving water.
In the Granby community, we are again having some difficulties, and a section of that community is being served from Hagley. So we would say that 35% of all of Granby is being served at this time. The newly constructed Benz intake and pipeline suffered severe damages, but we have begun work on that system, and by Sunday we are hoping that that system will again be serving the people of Benz, Anzime, and Solda. We have completed repair works in the Calibishi area, and by the 5th of this month, which is Saturday, the people from Calibishi should be receiving water.
However, the water system for the West Coast was completely ruined by the tropical storm.
As you may be aware, prior to the storm, we had just completed the installation of a new water system for the West Coast from Capuchin to Salisbury, using 2 intakes, one on the Picard River and one on the Coolibistry River. Both of those new intakes were taken out of commission by the tropical storm. Coolibistry, I must say at this time, there is real difficulties there, and we cannot say just yet how soon that system will be reinstated. However, Picard, we are working on Picard with the assistance of ACE Engineering, and that new intake will be reinstated soon, and hopefully we'll be able to serve areas of Collioure and Coolibistry not too long from now.
Etinoff explained that limited road access makes it difficult to reach certain areas.
There are some areas that we have not made much progress, and these are Bagatelle, Forceja, Petit Savan, Dubic areas. As a result of access, we could not have done very much there. Buitika and Dalis. But I'm happy to report that a team from the WASCO visited Dalis with the use of the Venezuelan helicopter today, and the report is very good that there's no damage to the intake, no damage to the pumps or to the pipelines. And so once the silt is cleared, we can begin pumping water to the community of Dalis. So we anticipate within 2 days that will be done.
The company is still working to restore water to Gerdel, Wesley, and Salisbury. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Telecommunication services around the island have been significantly restored.
Speaking at a press briefing Thursday night, General Manager of Lime Dominica, Jeffrey Baptiste, said the two telecommunications companies worked together during Dominica's time of need.
We've had significant cooperation and collaboration with Digicel. I spent quite a bit of time on the telephone with Richard Stanton here in Dominica. We also had a lot of collaboration and cooperation at the senior level, executive level, all again joining together in the restorative effort of our beautiful country, Dominica. And so the day after the storm, we actually collaborated with Digicel and actually got a boat into Dominica with supplies and equipment. We jointly offered and donated water to the Red Cross, again to assist our people. And I must say, I think it has to be used as an example that at difficult times we have to put aside differences and really partner for one specific good. And in this case, I think, is returning our country to some level of normalcy and bringing some comfort to the people of Dominica. And so at this time, Lime and Digicel, we stood together and we were very proud to do it.
Baptiste says the company continues its outreach projects to assist Dominicans who have been severely affected by the tropical storm.
On a humanitarian perspective, we are also collaborating to lend our support to Dominica. And so we started an effort today across every business unit our company operates, and I refer specifically Jamaica, the Bahamas, and every single market where Lime operates. And our business started a text help initiative where subscribers in all these markets are being asked and influenced and motivated to lend their support to Dominica by texting the word help at a premium price of $1. And once that is done, the initial period is about 2 weeks, but we expect again we may assess and determine to continue a bit further. The funds that would have been derived as a result of that initiative will be donated to the Relief Fund, the Government of Dominica Relief Fund.
Digicel is also playing its part in the rebuilding efforts in Dominica.
Having achieved what we've achieved in terms of rebuilding our networks, we believe that this is only the beginning. This is only the starting point, and we need to work on now the rebuilding and reshaping of Dominica. So we have already chipped in three shipments on boats from St. Lucia to Red Cross. We have distributed over $3,000 in free credit to our customers. We're assisting various governmental departments and groups with handsets and credit to enable them to communicate effectively. We're working over the next 48 hours to try and achieve some hotspots in some of the shelters that don't have access to the internet to give them more communication ability. We have also done a text to donate across 32 countries, so we're collecting money on behalf of the country. We've provided buses and boats for transportation for Red Cross to move supplies in the immediate aftermath. We've supplied equipment into the grammar school, and we will be attending the Dominica Grammar School and the area in Grand Bay where the people have been displaced, and we'll be supplying food and equipment to them.
Essential services are being restored in Dominica as the country continues to recover and rebuild from the devastating effects of Tropical Storm Erika.
At a press briefing Thursday night, representatives from utility companies on island updated the public on the state of ongoing restoration works. General Manager of Dominica Electricity Services, DOMLEC, Bertilia McKenzie, said that during the passage of Tropical Storm Erika, some customers were not without electricity.
9,511 customers never lost power during the event. 73.5% of our customers were affected by Erika, and we are pleased to report at this time that 97% of our customers have power, and our customer base is 35,588 customers.
8 out of DOMLEC's 10 feeders were affected, and 6 out of the 8 have been restored fully.
So the Portsmouth feeder is fully restored, the Belfast feeder, the Lower Goodwill feeder, the Picard bypass, the North feeder, and the East feeder. They have been fully restored. Sugarloaf East feeder is not fully restored. We have a break in our HV network at the airport, and the airport has been isolated. as a result of that. The south feeder has not been fully restored because we still have areas like Stowe and Point Kerry Bagadale, which are without power, and these are being dealt with even as we speak.
Power has been restored to 97% of the island. However, just over 1,000 customers continue to be affected.
I need to give us an update of the areas that are without power. And these are Dibic, Stowe, Fort Saint-Jean, Bagatelle, Petite Savanne. We are currently working on Dibic and Stowe. Clark Hall. There are down poles at Clark Hall, and access to provide repairs is still problematic. Coolibistry. There are down LV poles at Coolibistry. Work is presently ongoing there. Some areas of Coolibistry, like Plaza Whale, does have.
Work is still ongoing to restore electricity in some areas in Formel, Despot, and Campbell. Mackenzie says that flooding during the tropical storm has impacted how soon some customers may be reconnected.
Due to the effects of the water on the electrical installations, a large number of customers have been isolated because of flooding to their homes. And so we really will not be able to reconnect these customers because the electrical installations have been compromised. And from a safety issue, we will not reconnect. And so these customers will really need to go through the procedure of having their homes recertified by the electrical division in order to be reconnected. The same will apply to Coolibistry after restoration has been done.
Meantime, grammar school teacher Doreen Durand has never been in a position like this before, but she has embraced the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the Petite Savanne evacuees in her care.
As shelter manager, I'm responsible for ensuring that the people are comfortable to begin with. They have the beds to sleep in, they have food to eat, their care products, personal care products, and that they are as comfortable as possible to provide them with any assistance that they may need that we can immediately provide. And those we can't immediately provide, get in touch with whoever is responsible, and to make sure that because remember, they've just suffered through a major disaster, and we are there to just make them feel like, even if they are not home, but like this is their home.
What about utilities? Do they have water, lights, washroom, access to washrooms? What is that like for them?
Yes, we have water, we have lights. They do have access to the washrooms. Well, as you know, it is a school, so you can well imagine it's a school washroom, but they do have access to it. We have not had any major complaints or anything.
So you have a plan in place how to manage this place so you have no chaos in
Okay, we have tried our best to ensure that there is little or no chaos at all in the place. And so far, the plan that we have put in place is working. So we have people, different areas, who work in different areas, and they're ensuring that, so for example, the kitchen is being taken care of, the bedding area, and so we have put plans in place so that nothing goes haywire.
Now their relatives will want to come and visit, and there are other Dominicans and visitors who want to come in. How do you control and manage all of that inflow and outflow of people?
Okay, well, the police and the cadet corps and even our own security here at the grammar school, they too are lending their hand, and they're ensuring that people do not come into as they willy-nilly as they wish. We try to control the crowd as much as possible. So far, we have not had a big influx of the general public coming in, and those who do come in, they've been, relatively calm and considering what is going on.
This is a good chance for you to perhaps say something to people coming in so that they follow certain protocols when they come. The people you don't want people to just flood the place, can make the guests uncomfortable and so on.
Okay, to the general public, when you do come to visit your friends or family, or if you're just a curious onlooker, please follow the rules of whatever is being applied there. We have security at the gate. Do not bypass the security. Come to the security, who will direct you to the office, and somebody in the office will talk to you and show you where you need to go. Don't just come in and barrage the place, because one, we need to control the crowd. We need the people to feel comfortable, and please, do not come and be looking at them to see, okay, no. They are humans just as us, and they need their own privacy, okay? And we here are trying to provide them with the best available, whatever, to make them feel comfortable here.
The shelter manager has some words of advice for anyone considering taking in evacuees into their homes.
An appeal to those who want to take in the people. Do not take them in just to see what you can gain. Okay? Take them in knowing that you are doing something from the heart. Okay? And do not just, and if you do take them in, treat them as you would treat your own family members. Okay? We know after a while you might feel that people have overstayed their welcome, but please give them, you know, just think of you being in a situation where you would need somebody to help you. So don't come here expecting to get 101 things in return. Okay, just because you've taken somebody. Just do it out from the goodness of your heart and think of you being of service to somebody.
This is Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for the following messages.
White dog with anything. Only white dog. White dog with anything. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating. It's calling. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating.
White oak. When it pours, you reign.
Homework, research, school-based assessments. Visit the Muslim store today and give your child the tools that they need to succeed. Tablets as low as $399.99. Laptops starting at $16.95. Or get a complete package including a desktop computer with camera, speakers, table and chair. So don't let your child's education suffer. Come down to the Bayfront Roseau and check out these incredible prices. Only at the Muslim store. Locally born, locally grown.
Ozone. Use ozone. 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 Never done till the dirt is gone. Ozone.
There's a place in Portsmouth that's mellow.
The products and services are just mellow.
Located on Harbour Lane in Portsmouth, next to the St. John's School, it's Milo's Bakery.
Milo's Bakery offers a wide variety of tasty pastries and breads for your satisfaction.
Baked fresh and soft.
So come to Milo's for your tasty pastries.
Open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday and from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays.
Call 445-4044 today.
It's bedding month at Quartz. Get unbeatable deals on the world's best brands and mattresses all month long, only at Quartz. So come in today and get a queen back support mattress at the price of a double. Free bases with selected purchases, plus a chance to win your Serta purchase free. So visit a Quartz store now and get that oh so good feeling with the best deals on the best brands and mattresses this month, only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Thank you for staying with us. The Caribbean Federation of Police Welfare Association is also involved in sending relief supplies to Dominican police affected by the storm. The organization comprises of policemen in the Caribbean who unite to assist their members in times of distress.
That we received today from the Royal British Virgin Islands Police Force. We received some dry goods, some canned goods, and tomorrow we'll get water. And we'll get some officers coming down to assist with the relief effort in Dominica.
Drago says a lot of officers in the out districts were affected in one way or another. Approximately 10 police officers from Petite Savannah were affected by Tropical Storm Erika.
But in particular, we must mention the police officers of Petite Savannah and the families who were affected. For sure, these are the first people that will receive relief effort from what we receive here today. And as a matter, I would like to thank the Caribbean Federation of Police Welfare Association for the effort and for the initiative.
The Dominica Association of Local Community Authorities has joined in the cleanup and relief efforts on the north and west coast.
The Dominica Association of Local Community Authorities, or DALCA, is a voluntary umbrella body representing the interests of village and town councils. It has provided equipment to assist village councils from Kulibistri to Kalibishi to clear roads in those communities.
DALCA received some chainsaws, generators from the Australian Direct Aid through the Australian ambassador in Trinidad. We place the chainsaws in strategic areas. So there is a chainsaw in Kalibishi, Cassibros, Laplane, Pishlin, Roseau, Kulibistri, Vickers area. So presently we are almost cleared on the north. So I brought the 2 chainsaws down. From morning we are in Dublin, on the heights of Dublin, assisting the people because I am doing from Dublin to Kulibistri. I am every day moving to and fro the village assisting.
John Jules has been transporting water to these hardest hit communities with no pipe-borne water.
What I do in the morning, I come down with load of water. I have a rental, I come down load of water. When I'm going back home, I go up with the containers empty. So if I reach in Rose with the empty container, I full them back, and on my way down, I distribute them, and I go down to Vickers, and I come in the morning, I come back with.
Additionally, John Jules is one of the point people for distribution of items in these communities.
You need coordination for the relief in the area because when some people get it, they might not want to give others. So you have a person. I am assisting the Dexia. I am along with Mr. Thomas, and I am coordinating from Dublin to Kulibistri with him. So that is what I'm doing now. But presently, I am trying to assist in the clearing of the roads and the clearing of the trees and carrying water for the people. At the Kulibistri police station is a base, so the district development officers, there are 2 district development officers, they packaging and distributing to the people. In Coliho, the Coliho Village Council is the base where we put our items and then the distribution starts from here. Now in Dublin and Bioche, we have a distribution center where that's a Dublin Village Council office, and from there we distribute everything because if you don't do it like that, everything will go upside down, and because everybody will rush in, so we were trying to coordinate properly. So at the end of the day, everybody will receive, it will be well coordinated, and there will be no favorites because everybody is affected.
Recovery efforts in Kulibistri, Coliho, Dublin and Bioche is being made much lighter with the help of manpower from officers of the British support ship RFA Lime Bay.
These communities were affected by flash floods, landslides and rockfalls. Since the ship arrived here this week, the men have been busy mopping up the coastal communities. The team has been providing food, water and medical care for those who need it. Channel 5 News spoke with the officer in charge at the Humanitarian Aid and Disaster Relief Headquarters set up in Dublin.
So the team that I've got ashore at the moment is about 40 strong, and that's comprised of British Army, Royal Engineers, Royal Marines and 10 soldiers or 10 Coast Guard from the US Coast Guard Lidette. We started our infrastructure type bits and bobs with the light wheel tractor and some of the guys going out into the local communities and digging them out. So we've got people down at the public facilities digging those out, digging all the sand out, and later on we're going to jet wash them out so we can start getting a bit of normality back. The Department of Public Works has done a fantastic job of getting the roads open, so all of our vehicles are 4-wheel drive, some of them are 6-wheel drive and some of them are 8-wheel drive. So it's not really a problem to get over some of the smaller or larger obstacles. The main thing is making sure that we don't ruin anything. For example, in Batley below, the most southern point, there's a ford, and if we go through that in our biggest truck, we then have to take the tractor down to flatten it back out so everybody else can drive over it because it makes big ruts. So not too much of a problem, but the normal challenges of the capacity of weight that the bridges can take for some of our larger vehicles. So we're having to be quite ingenuitive about how we get the water around, so putting cubes of water into small 1-ton trailers that we pull around in a Land Rover or a Pinscower, as opposed to taking them all on the big trucks.
Recovery efforts for the bodies of those who perished during Tropical Storm Erika continue.
During a press briefing Thursday night, Chief of Police Daniel Carbon apprised the public of the number of bodies recovered from Tropical Storm Erika.
As it relates to death, we have recovered 11 bodies so far, and I'm advised that we're missing 22 22 people, most of them fear dead, if all not fear dead. I received, and I must say that is unconfirmed reports, that there have been 2 bodies sighted in Trois-Rivières in Guadeloupe, that is in the sea, and it is believed that they are Dominicans, so we followed up on that report. And before I just came here, we also got a report that there have been bodies kind of surfacing in the Petit-Savan area, in the area of the slide. It is kind of difficult to recover those bodies based on what has happened there on the landslides, and obviously they will be in an advanced stage of decomposition.
CARICOM says Dominica has been receiving great assistance from other countries in its search and rescue missions.
Barbados, through the RSS, we have 22 defense forces here, 3 police officers and 6 fire officers. Antigua, we have 18 defense forces and 12 fire officers. St. Lucia, we have 13 Coast Guard personnel with their cutter. St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have 5 police officers. Grenada, we have 3 police officers. St. Kitts and Nevis, 8 defense forces. Montserrat, 13 defense forces and 5 police officers. And Venezuela, well, you would have heard, 63 military personnel and military vessel ship. We have 150 military personnel from the British. And so the efforts are ongoing.
Police are investigating 3 shootings which have taken place in various communities this week.
Police have arrested a man in connection with a shooting at Newtown on Tuesday at 5 p.m. which left Rufus Thomas and Bill Jean-Jacques of Newtown with injuries to the hand, waistline and buttocks. Later that Tuesday night about 10 p.m. a man was shot in his leg at Viewpoint Stock Farm.
Lougie Lockhart was relaxing with others by the roadside at Stock Farm. While they were there, a motor scooter passed. There were 2 men on that motor scooter. They were armed and as well as masked. And as soon as they arrived at Lougie Lockhart area, or the area in which he was relaxing, the rounds were discharged, and as a result of which he sustained a gunshot wound to his leg. The rider and pillion rider escaped and made themselves scarce. We have not made any formal arrest.
On Thursday evening, gunshots were also fired in a residential area at Grand Bay about 8:15, which left Lestron Henderson hospitalized with an injury to his back. Police are investigating that matter.
Police are investigating a suspected suicide in Paybush after a young man from that community was found hanging from a rope.
On Wednesday, the Vekas police station got a report from that 26-year-old Roderick Matthew was found dead with a rope tied around his neck, hanging from the roof of a small shed. Police say his body had already started decomposing.
Regional organizations representing civil servants are also part of the drive to assist their brothers and sisters affected by Tropical Storm Erika. The British Virgin Islands Nurses Association rallied help from the neighboring islands to transport supplies to Dominica after the passing of the storm. On Wednesday, a team flew in at the Canefield Airport with 6 planes loaded with supplies for nurses, displaced victims and other persons affected by the storm. The team mainly brought medical supplies, food items, clothing, water and toiletries.
What we did in the BVI was to separate packages according to the 7 health districts. The nurses who are in charge at each health district will be responsible for distribution to where need is greatest, yes. The nurses themselves will be receiving care packages and they can decide, because nurses know their community. Because nurses are in the community, they too will be receiving care packages, as well as the 5 nurses that lost everything. That's where most of the supplies will be sent.
5 nurses and their families lost everything during the storm. The medical supplies will be specifically for the hospitals and community health centers.
More supplies will be ongoing. We have 6 plane loads, and 1 plane in particular will be making 2 flights loaded, fully loaded.
And that is between today and when?
It's going to be ongoing. We have the other set of planes coming in on Saturday. So we'll continue, because the BVI Nurses Association will not stop. We will not stop until we know that the country of Dominica is taken care of completely.
Representative of the Dominica Nurses Association says they also welcome the skilled nurses who specialize in dialysis, emergency room, and community nursing.
From my knowledge, I know Granby Health District, Marigot Health District, Lapland Health District, St. Joseph Health District. Because if you would have known already, based on the list that was circulated from the EOC of the special critical areas, you'll know areas like Colibistri, Petit Savan, Bacatel, Rivière Syric, all of these are part of the districts that I've mentioned.
Beaubois, Roseau, Pound, Kennedy Avenue, and Wharton Waven. Just some of the areas covered Friday as Marpin 2k4 technicians continued their quest to restore services as promptly as possible to our valued customers.
Okay, we began the day by installing coaxial cable that was damaged through the storm Erika to restore Castle Comfort Beaubois area. Then we moved to the city of Roseau, where we installed coaxial cable again to reactivate certain sections of Pong Kennedy Avenue. From there we moved to Wharton Waven, where we replaced damaged fiber approximately 700 feet. And then we are en route to now Cochrane, where we hope to begin the restoration of Cochrane, and hopefully we'll complete the job tomorrow. Looking forward to Sunday and early Monday, we're looking at Campbell, and possibly we'll start to restore in the east.
There are reports of expected weather disturbances this weekend. Let's hear from the Met Office with your weekend report.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. The high-pressure system continued to be the dominant feature across the area today, resulting in occasional cloudy skies across Dominica. Meanwhile, some instability resulted in increased cloudiness across the Leeward Islands. 2 days radar imagery indicated scattered showers across the area. However, no rainfall was recorded at the airports. Tonight's weather is expected to be fair to partly cloudy and slightly hazy with brief scattered showers. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow. Sea conditions tomorrow: slight to moderate in open water, with waves expected to pick up to 5 feet. And looking ahead, an increase in cloudiness and showers is expected on Sunday, as a tropical wave is expected to move across the area. Drier conditions can once again be expected on Monday. And across the Les Antilles tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy and hazy conditions can be expected across the central and southern portions of the chain, while cloudy skies with showers can be expected across the leewards. And on the international scene tomorrow, sunny conditions are expected in New York, Caracas, and Beijing, with a chance of thunderstorm activity in Miami and the chance of rain in London. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:53 a.m. and will set at 6:15 p.m. For further information, visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a good night.
That's news. The headlines again. Relief efforts continue to reach remote areas via helicopter cut off by the storm. Utility companies continue to make concerted efforts to restore services disrupted by Erika, and help from CARICOM as post-disaster recovery efforts continue in Dominica. Send your questions and comments to news@marpin2k4.com. I am Lourianne Graham-Carter on behalf of the production team. Thank you for watching and have a safe weekend.